Hello everyone, welcome in the 7th lecture of vibration with MATLAB. Now we are starting 2 degree of freedom system. In 2 degree of freedom system, we are going to cover response for free vibration case as well as force vibration case. In addition to getting the response, we will also try to understand the eigenvalue problem, which primarily developed to get the natural frequency as well as the vibration shape, means the mode shape of your system. Eigenvalue problem itself required a broad understanding. However, in the present lecture, first we are going to cover the response part. And for getting the response, here also we are going to apply the state space formulation. There we will use the ODE command which is there in the MATLAB to get the response. In addition to that, we will also use the Newmark beta method. So before we go and see the MATLAB program, let's try to see some fundamental of 2 degree of freedom system. Here I am showing two pictures. The first picture indicating that there are two masses connected with the three springs. As there are two masses, we can say that the system will have 2 degree of freedom, and then we can write the equation of motion considering two displacement as x1 and x2 for the two masses independently. In the second picture, in addition to the spring and the masses, we are having some C term that indicating the damping effect. This is our viscous damping. So first try to write the equation of motion of this 2 degree of freedom system. If I will make the free body diagram of individual masses, and then if I will use the D'Alembert principle or Newton method, I will be able to write the force balance term. That part I have already covered in the previous lecture, so here I am not investing too much of time. I am going to write the equation for the first mass, that will be m1 x1 double dot plus k1 x1 plus k2 x1 minus x2 is equal to 0. Similarly, for the second mass, my equation of motion will become m2 x2 double dot plus k2 x2 minus x1 plus k3 x2 is equal to 0. If I will rearrange this term, I will be able to write my equation in matrix form, which looks, this is my mass matrix multiplied with the acceleration vector, and then we will have stiffness matrix, that is a symmetric matrix k1 plus k2 minus k2 minus k2 and then k2 plus k3. It will be multiplied by x1 and x2, that will be 0 in case of free vibration. Similarly, when we will try to write the same equation for this damped system, in addition to your mass matrix and the stiffness matrix, we will have damping matrix. For the current case, the damping matrix will also be a symmetric matrix, and that will be C1 plus C2 minus C2 minus C2 and C2 plus C3. The damp term is going to be multiplied by the velocity term. So in case of damped system, my equation will have three matrix, one mass matrix, the damping matrix and the stiffness matrix. After seeing the equation of motion, the another thing which we should understand that how a 2 degree of freedom system is different from a single degree of freedom system. The first thing we know that it is having 2 degree of freedom, but in terms of frequency, if we want to understand a single degree of freedom system, the natural frequency of the system can be written as under root k by m. However, if we are having a 2 degree of freedom system, as I am showing here in this picture, what would be the natural frequency? So the first thing we should understand, as the system is having 2 degree of freedom, it will have two natural frequencies. Now, what would be the value of these two natural frequency? Can I say that omega 1 will be under root k1 by m1 and omega 2 is under root k2 by m2? No, this is not the right value because the degree of freedom are coupled to each other. They are not independent. That means these are not the right solution. However, to get the right solution, what we need to do, we have to write the characteristic equation for the system, and by solving the characteristic equation we will get the roots of characteristic equation which will give us the two natural frequency. So it is not simply we can write m1 or k1 and then we can get the natural frequency. We have to first make the characteristic equation, and then the solving the characteristic equation will give natural frequency. In addition to that, characteristic equation will also gives you the eigenvectors that will give you the mode shapes. Here I am not going in too much detail of what is mode shape, eigenvector and eigenvalue. That part we will cover separately. But here you should know that for a 2 degree of freedom system there will be two natural frequency. So quickly go and see the state space formulation for a 2 degree of freedom system, and then we will see the MATLAB program. So this is our equation of motion for undamped system. As we have already seen in our previous lecture that when we apply the state space formulation, what we do exactly? If you will see this equation, it is a second order ordinary differential equation. When we apply the state space formulation, the equation will become one order lower. That means now we will have single order, first order ordinary differential equation, but instead of having one equation, we will have two equation. So here we are having two equation. So when we will apply the state space formulation, finally we will get four first order ordinary differential equation, because currently we are having two equation which are of second order. So how to make a state space formulation, and for that purpose we have to create some new state variables. What we do here, I will try to make it as simple as possible, because when you will see the books you may find some complicated term. I will not use any complicated term here. So I am going to consider my x1, x2, x1 dot and x2 dot. This is my displacement of the first mass that I am writing here. Similarly, I can write here the velocity of the first mass as well as the velocity of the second mass. So displacement, then I am having velocity and velocity. I am going to consider the displacement of the first mass is equal to a state variable, that is y1. Then the second state variable y2, y3 and y4. So these are the four state variable, and we are going to have four first order ordinary differential equation with respect to the four state variable. Here we have to replace x1 double dot, x2 double dot as well x1 and x2 using these state variable. How we can do that? If I will write y3 dot, the y3 dot is going to replace x1 double dot, because y3 is x1 dot, so y3 dot will become x1 double dot. Similarly, y4 dot will become x2 double dot. If I will write x1 dot, that will be what? That will be y1 dot. So y1 dot will become x1 dot, but we know that x1 dot is equal to y3. So we can again write this is equal to y3. And similarly, y2 dot will become what? x2 dot, or I can replace it with y4. So we are having y1 dot, y2 dot, y3 dot and y4 dot, where y1 dot and y2 dot are equal to y3 and y4. For the y3 and third and fourth equation, we can get this value using our governing equation. So what will happen here? If I will write my governing equation considering the state variables, my equation will become m1 0 0 m2. Then it will be what? Y3 dot and y4 dot plus the K matrix. I am simply writing it as a K matrix, and I will have x1 and x2 that can be written as y1 and y2 is equal to 0. So these two equation can be written using this equation. However, these two equations are simply write as y3 and y4. So if I will rearrange the entire term, my final equation will become what? y1 dot, y2 dot, y3 dot and y4 dot is equal to, I can replace these equations using a state coefficient matrix. We call it coefficient matrix. And how we can write that? I can consider here a null matrix, then an identity matrix. Here I will have minus m inverse k. This is again a 2 cross 2 matrix, because mass matrix is a value of 2 cross 2 and K matrix is also 2 cross 2. So when I will have M inverse K, and then again I am having a null matrix here. Here I can write y1, y2, y3 and y4. I am writing so, because if you will see here, I will rearrange here. I will take this term to the right hand side, so there will be a negative sign, and then I can put this m in inverse form. So ultimately this equation will become n inverse k and this y1 and y2. So using this mathematical alteration, I am writing my final equation where the left hand side is having derivative of your state variable. On the right hand side, you are having four state variable as well as a coefficient matrix. And writing this coefficient matrix is very important because it will make your MATLAB code very simple. Otherwise, you can write four individual equation. Those equations you have to write in your MATLAB code, and your code will become little difficult. So please understand, this would be your coefficient matrix, and this it is a standard matrix. Similarly, when we are having damping term in our equation, again what I am going to do, I am going to replace my x1 x2 x1 dot and x2 dot with the help of y1 y2 y3 and y4. And to get the value of x1 double dot and x2 double dot, I will take this entire term toward the right hand side, then I will multiply this entire term with m inverse. So finally I will have a term m inverse c and m inverse k here with negative sign, which actually going to reflect in my coefficient matrix. So this would be my coefficient matrix, and you can remember this coefficient matrix every time, no need to derive it. So here I am having four state variable that is in the derivative form. This is my coefficient matrix term, and this is my four state variable vector. So I hope that now you are having basic understanding how to convert this second order equation using state space formulation into a first order ordinary differential equation. So let's see our MATLAB code. This is the MATLAB code for the free vibration of undamped system. Line 2 and 3 are standard line. Here I am defining three stiffness. I have assumed a system where I am having two masses connected with the three spring. You might have a system where there will not be any third spring. So in the given code, what you can do, you can put your K3 is equal to 0 for this case. But for given case, I am having three springs of value 4000, 2000 and 6000. Similarly, the two masses are considered as 1 kilogram and 2 kilogram. Please remember, you have to supply the stiffness and mass matrix to the code. So here what I am doing, from line 7 to 8, I have created my mass matrix, which is nothing but simply m1 0 0 m1, and this is standard way to write the matrix in the MATLAB. Otherwise you can also write the entire statement in a single line, but for the clarity I have written in this way. Otherwise what you can do, you can simply say m is equal to m1 0 semicolon 0 m2. It will also give you the same matrix. So similarly I have written here the k matrix, that will be k1 plus k2 minus k2 minus k2 and k2 plus k3. After giving input of mass and stiffness matrix, here I am applying one command, that is the EIG command. EIG command stands for the eigenvalue problem solution. MATLAB is having this standard function which you can directly apply. The input value for the IIG function is the K matrix and the M matrix. When you will solve this line, you will get two vectors. One vector will give you the mode shape. Another vector will be a diagonal matrix. That means when you will run this line, what you will get, your FR will have, where you will have omega 1 square 0 0 and omega 2 square. This is the standard format for the eigenvalue problem for an undamped system that we will learn separately when we will talk about the eigenvalue problem particularly. Here I am not going in the detail. So when you will solve line 12, you will get one FR vector that will give you the two natural frequency. Similarly, the first vector, that is mode shape vector. When you will see the mode shape vector, the mode shape vector actually going to have four values: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the first column is going to give you the first mode shape, and the second column will give you the second mode shape. In the current code, we are not going to use this mode shape part, so I'm stopping here. But as we want to create a time step, we need the natural frequency of our system, because we have already learned earlier how to decide the time step. The time step should be at least 20 times less than the minimum time period of your system. So for the single degree of freedom system, there is only one time period. But for a two degree of freedom system, there will be two frequency, and this would be the lower frequency, this would be the higher frequency. So how you will decide the time step? To decide the time step, you are going to use this frequency. We'll see it soon. Then we are creating the coefficient matrix. If you will recall, we have created a coefficient matrix here. There was a null matrix of size 2 cross 2. There identity matrix of 2 cross 2. Then we were having M inverse K, and again we are having a null matrix of 2 cross 2. So here I am creating my coefficient matrix, and for that what I have done, first I have created a null matrix. So for that I am using this standard MATLAB command, that is zeros, and here I am putting 2. That means this command is going to give me a 0 0 matrix for a size 2 by 2. If you would have written zeros 5, it will give you a 5 cross 5 matrix, all value will be 0. Similarly, this A11 is going to create an identity matrix, and for that the command is EYE. So it will give you a matrix which is having 1 0 0 1 value. Then the CC stands for the coefficient matrix, and you can see this A00 is corresponding to this term, A11 is corresponding to this term here. Then I am having inverse M, this INV again standard MATLAB command multiplied with the K matrix, and finally again I am having the null matrix. So line 15 indicating the coefficient matrix. Line 16 I have used to make it global, because later on I am going to use this CC matrix in my function that will be create for the ODE command. So here I am creating this CC as a global variable. After that, from line 18 to 20, I am creating my time step and the time vector. As I said, I am using the max command, which going to give me the maximum of any vector. In case of your AFR matrix, you are having two value, that is corresponding to the square of first frequency and the second frequency in radians. So you will see here the square root of diagonal part of FR. So this DIAG is going to give me only vector of value omega 1 square and omega 2 square. Instead of having a matrix, now I am having a vector which is the diagonal component of this FR matrix. Then I am doing square root of this using this square value, and then I am multiplying it by 2 pi. So what you will get when you will apply this max frequency command, and then I am using the max command, so max is going to take the maximum value out of these two values. So ultimately line 18 is going to give me the value of the highest natural frequency in the given system. And then using this natural frequency, I am taking inverse of this frequency, which is going to give me the time period multiplied by the value 20. So this is my time step. Then I am creating a time vector which is having up to the 200 time step. Ultimately I am considering 200 plus 1, that is corresponding to 0 data point corresponding to time vector. After that, line 22 indicating your initial value that is required for the ODE function, because whenever we are solving a problem of vibration, it is an initial value problem. You have converted a second order differential equation into first order differential equation, and for that you have to supply one value. You are having four equations, so you are supplying four value. This vector is exactly same you have created for your CC matrix. Please understand, sometime when you will see the book is following a format where this will be M inverse K, then null matrix, then you are having a null matrix and identity matrix. What does it mean? It means I have created my space vector in terms of velocity, displacement. What is our state vector? Our state vector is y1, y2, y3 and y4. The first two are corresponding to displacement. Later I am having velocity term. On the other hand, if your state vector defined by these, that means first two will be velocity and then the displacement. So please don't get confused. You can follow what I am explaining here, and there will be, I hope there will be least chance of mistake. So what we have considered, our consideration is that the displacement of first mass, then the displacement of the second mass, then the velocity of the first mass, and the velocity of the second mass. This is the order of our state vector. In that way, you have to supply the initial value. And what is initial value we are supplying here? We are considering that we are giving a displacement of value 0.01 only to the first mass. What is our system? Our system is having two masses connected with the two spring, and here I am giving an initial displacement of value 0.01 to the first mass only. If you want to give some velocity to the first mass, then that will come at the third place. If you want to give some displacement to your second mass, that will be the second place, and finally the velocity of the second mass will be at the first place. So this is the order of your initial input value. And then line 23 is your standard MATLAB command, where you are calling a function ODE23, which is there to solve first order ordinary differential equation. This is the function. There you have created the ODE function which you are calling here. Then this function is actually taking time value and initial value as input. So time is a vector and initial value is also a vector. These are the input for that, and it is giving output T solution. T solution is going to give you the time steps, and Y solution is going to give you the 4 term. When you will run the 23 line, you will see the Y solution is actually having, Y solution is going to give me 4 columns which are corresponding to 4 state values. So when I will see the Y solution, the size of the Y solution will be 1000 row and the 4 column. So these 4 columns in your Y solution, the first is corresponding to Y1, then Y2 and Y3 and Y4. So if you want to see the displacement of the first mass, you are going to pick the first column and all row of your Y solution. Similarly, displacement of the second mass and the velocity. When you will see the line 24, here I am plotting time. This is my time vector, and Y solution all rows first and the second column. That means I am interested to plot the displacement of the first and second mass simultaneously on a single plot. The next line is the line width. It is just for your information that if you want to increase the thickness of the plot command, you can directly give a line width command here, and then you are writing the thickness of the line. After that, I am having X label and Y label, which will be there for the plots. 27 line, again a new command. Here I am trying to limit my Y limit of the graph. If I am writing Y, then this limit, so my plot will have maximum values 0.02 and minus 0.02. Sometimes it is required to visualize your output in a particular fashion. Line 28 indicating that I want to in on the grid of my plot. So this is just for your information. Otherwise, you can simply stop writing after line 24. At line 24, you will be able to see the response of your system. Now let's see this test ODE 2D, because this is actually a function which are going to call for solving the ODE 23, and this is your function. The function is very simple. I am taking output of dy test OD2D. Input is the time and the y is actually having the 4 value which we have created here in this line, which is y naught. And then simply what I am doing, I am calling my CC coefficient matrix and I am multiplying it with y. So once you will create the coefficient matrix, the function lines, the code you have to write for the function will become very simple. So here just 3 lines are there and you will get the response. So I hope that after reading these lines and discussion, you will be able to understand this code. Later on we will see it, but before that let's go and see the code we have made for the damping condition. So this is similar to the first code what we have given here. We can see here that we have given k matrix, k value, m value, and addition to that we are giving the c value. So 1, 2 and the 0 value. So what is my system? I am having a system with 2 masses, 3 spring and 3 dampers. The value of the first is 4000, then 2000 and the 6000, and the damping value is 1, 2 and 0 here. mass value 1 and 2. So I have created my mass vector, mass matrix, stiffness matrix and the damping matrix. Line 15 again the same, which are going to give me the natural frequency, and I am using the highest value to create my time step, which are considered from line 21 to 23. Here I am creating my coefficient matrix, and we have already seen that in case of damping, your coefficient matrix will be a null matrix of 2 by 2, identity matrix of 2 by 2. Then we will have M inverse K and minus M inverse C. So this is my coefficient matrix. Remaining all other terms are exactly same, which we have just now seen in the previous case. So we will try to see response of both the code in the MATLAB environment. So let's move to the MATLAB environment and solve the problem sequentially. So this is your first code where we are trying to solve a problem of undamped system for the free vibration case. This is exactly the same code we just now we have seen. So without delaying, I am just hitting the run command to see the response of your system. And this is the response of your system, and you can see here that the blue line is corresponding to your displacement of the first mass and the red line is corresponding to displacement of the second mass. Now you can observe that this is not a pure harmonic wave. Instead of that, this is a periodic wave, and that is expected because the system is vibrating freely. It is a 2 degree of freedom system. That means both the frequencies will try to govern the response of your system, and therefore instead of having a single frequency for a single mass, every mass in your system is vibrating with the combination of the two frequencies. However, the contribution in terms of amplitude is different. This is again a very important fundamental concept of the 2 degree of freedom system, which we are not discussing because our primary aim here to learn the MATLAB code. You can see here that blue line is starting from a value of 0.01, and that is why, because we have given the initial value here as 0.01 displacement for the first mass and 0 for the second mass. So this is your curve for the displacement. If you want to change your input condition, for example you want to give initial value to your system instead of giving initial displacement, so what you can do, you can make this displacement 0, and then you can apply some velocity here. Let's say I want to give a velocity of 1 meter per second here. If I will run my code, that means what I am doing here, I am giving initial velocity to the first mass. That's it. Now let's see the response. So this is your response. Now you can see both the masses, both the curves are starting from zero value because initial displacement for both the masses are zero. If you will see the velocity response, what you can do, instead of taking the first and the second column of your y solution vector, you can take the third and the fourth. Or if you want to see only one, you can simply write 3 here or 4 here. That will give you the velocity curve. So this is the response. Since now you see I am not able to see the entire line, and why it is so, because I have considered my y displacement limit minus 0.02 to 0.01, but I have already given a velocity of 1. So what I can do, either I can change this limit. So let's change this limit to 4 to 4. Again I will run the code, and you can see now my run 4 to 4, and this is the response. And you can see the blue line is now starting from the 1 because this is the velocity curve, not the displacement curve. Similarly, when we will see the code, this is your code for the uh, test ODE 2D, and then this is the code for the damping sum. So here, in addition to the stiffness and the mass, I am also giving damping term to my system. Then I am creating the three matrices for the mass, stiffness and damping. Then the EIG command, here I have created the coefficient matrix. So let's see the response here. So this is your response, and you can see here initially you are having a displacement of 0.01, which is here in this line. And let what is happening, because there is a damping, because of the damping, the amplitude of the system is decaying with respect to time, and it is expected. If you will run the code for longer time, you will see that response will become almost zero. So let's run the code up to 5000 times step, and you can see that this is the output, and you can see that it is almost going to be a zero value. So I hope that now you have a basic understanding how to write the MATLAB code for 2 degree of freedom system in case of undamped system as well as for the damped system. In both the cases we have solved the free vibration problem. Later on we will solve force vibration problem, then we will see the Newmark method as well as the eigenvalue problem. With this note I am closing this session. Thank you.